Okay, so first video here, welcome. I was preparing to do a tarot reading, and I was taking some preliminary notes of insights that I wanted to provide prior to the reading. But as I started writing, all of this information just flew out of me, and it was clear to me that this is what needs to be said. It may not be for everybody, but I think everybody will find, if the video's found you, everybody will find something in it that resonates for them. But it's for a particular group of people who really need to hear this at the moment. So I'm just going to read it to you. I've typed it up and I'm just going to read it to you and get the message out there. So it's about the higher frequency that we're bathing in at the moment, and the spiritual upgrades that we're getting from that, and what to do with that. So we're currently bathing in a higher frequency. This higher frequency forges shifts and changes within us and around us that are for our benefit. It brings up the stuff within us from the past that we need to feel and look at in order to release it, in order to create more room within our vessels for the higher frequency, so that we can hold and carry more of it. Basically, it's an upgrade, and it feels like we're having all our stuff shoved right up into our faces at the moment. This has been happening for some time now, but it's ramped up recently, and it feels like a lot of pressure and possibly emotional outpouring, perhaps overwhelmingly so for some. It can be very difficult and very uncomfortable, can feel very uncomfortable. Like we're being nudged into or towards unfamiliar territory where our judgment, patience, boundaries and discernment is being tested. Like it's pushing us out of our comfort zone. Some may feel a calling to do something they haven't had the courage to do before, and in time you just might find yourself doing it, much to your own surprise. It can feel scary and bring up fear or anxiety, but do it anyway. The biggest growth can come through pressurized, challenging times. The fear and anxiety are coming from a place of what needs to change within us. To take on the new perspective or action, we have to let go of elements of ourselves which no longer serve us. Perhaps we took on massive self-protection or ego-based mechanisms to protect ourselves from past traumas, just so we could cope with life. But we're realizing that the things we thought we needed to protect ourselves are now actually hindering us from having better, happier lives, because they actually stunt our growth. This is the influence of the higher frequency, pushing that stuff out from the inside out. It's not fun, but we know it's for our best and highest good. So we just have to passage through it anyway and endure it, and we'll come out the other end feeling a very different person and responding to the world in different ways. As we take on the higher frequency, and in fact, for us to be able to hold and carry that frequency into our lives moving forward, we need to make room for it within us. Kind of like making room within our closets for new clothes before we can update our wardrobe. The new clothes support us to look and feel more like who we are today and who we are becoming, rather than past versions of ourselves. But we can't take them in and store them until we make room in our closets by ridding ourselves of old clothes which don't support who we are and who we are becoming moving forward. But we're talking about emotions here, not clothes. Beliefs about ourselves or our lives that maybe we've been hanging on to for a long time, that hold us back from having those happier experiences that we desire, and that we want to believe we are worthy of having as well. These old beliefs most likely born from past trauma and pain directly impact the way we feel about ourselves, our self-image and self-confidence. This is why some people operate through ego so strongly, because they are overcompensating for the lack of real self-confidence and self-belief. Other people learn to become wallflowers or shrinking violets in life, someone never to be paid attention to, never reaching their full potential, rather than developing an overactive ego. So there's two ways people can go, and possibly more. These things directly affect our ability to receive and accept love from others, as we don't currently hold enough love for ourselves. And so how can we accept or believe that love coming in from others? So when we're dealing with our emotions and beliefs, some of which we've been holding on to like security blankets, or as our belief of who we are and what we're worthy or unworthy of, it's clearly way more complex than dealing with clothes. So it's a process, right? We need to trust that we are being guided gently by Source, God, Spirit, Universe, and everything is unfolding just as it's meant to for our highest good. Having said that, clearing out our closets of items that don't feel like they support who we currently are or want to become is a great start to put us into the realms of accepting internal change within ourselves. So do that if you feel the need, if you haven't done it for a while. But it's kind of like when a snake sheds its old skin. It's uncomfortable and inevitably, for the betterment of the snake. Does the snake have a choice in the matter? No, the skin must be shed for the renewal and rejuvenation to take place. For us, it's happening internally. We may think we have a choice. We may choose to stick our heads in the sand, distract ourselves from old habits or new ones. We can choose to sit stubbornly and do nothing, set in our old ways, and trust me when I say we are bathing in this new higher frequency, and it's going to keep coming no matter how much we might resist. So there's no getting away from it. We're being forced to grow or suffer the consequences. Mind you, the process of internal renewal feels a lot like suffering. In fact, it's through pain and suffering that we have the greatest opportunity to grow. Deep down, we know it's for our benefit, and soon enough we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, especially when we start to realise what we're learning about ourselves and our external situations, and especially as our perception of ourselves and what we want or feel suddenly worthy of shifts. That's the exciting part. It's well worth the pain. We know that those old self-perceptions and beliefs are there because of past trauma, whether personal or generational. And that's a whole other topic. Some decision we made about ourselves or others or life due to what we perceive to be a negative experience. Meanwhile, the supportive, or what we perceive as the good aspects of our personalities, our self-perception or beliefs, we've attained from what we perceive to be our past positive experiences. For example, as children, we received some sort of comforting compliment or sign of care from someone we respected or admired that would serve as a positive affirmation of ourselves, making us in that moment feel good in some way. And that experience may have gone a long way to set up our beliefs of self-worth or worthiness of love and care, etc. But these aspects of ourselves that we perceive to be good can also come through the acceptance of lessons or learnings we've taken on in the past from periods of emotional discomfort or pain. These painful experiences can bring about great self-realization and clarity, which can be in discord with what we previously believed about ourselves, others, life, and it changes our internal and external perspective forever. So through the pain and discomfort, we gain that space in our closets. We shed that old skin. We gain space within ourselves for renewal and reinvention. Moving forward, these internal changes are reflected in the way we present ourselves out in the world, the way we behave, and the way we respond to future experiences, whether we perceive them as positive or negative, or as opportunities or challenges. So it's all about your perspective. You may have had times in the past where you were able to look back and see that a particular experience you perceived at the time as a bad experience actually brought you to who and where you are today in really beneficial ways. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise, albeit a painful blessing in many cases. I want to say to you, smile and accept the gift. Move through the pain and the fear and do what you need to do to take care of yourself during this transition period. Accept the higher frequency and all that it brings with grace and faith. We don't learn how strong we are until we're put to the test. Or maybe the lesson was to learn how to humble ourselves in order to rectify a situation. Either way, we benefit. As we free ourselves from the old ways, beliefs and emotions, this higher frequency takes up that space we've cleared within us, and it fills us up with a sense of self-empowerment, self-love, lightness, strength and groundedness. It brings us closer and closer to that higher version of ourselves we long to be. We become more intuitive, unstoppable and unbreakable. Through this process, take care of yourself, comfort and ground yourself with good food, exercise and rest. Encourage yourself to continue to be brave and move into who you are becoming. Start loving on yourself hard and you'll know what to do next. So there it is. So if you've managed to get this far through and you're still with me, I feel to say that if we're talking about our purpose, there's a question around what's the point of life? What's our purpose here? Well, for those of you still watching, it's that we are meant to ground to earth and carry with us the higher and higher frequencies that come from the divine. We anchor it here. We don't have to be going around saying anything to anyone, we just carry it within us. The only way we can do that is to get rid of our old traumas, old self-beliefs, all that old stuff that no longer serves us, that takes up space within the vessel. The vessel needs to be cleaner and clearer in order to hold that higher frequency. It's our job to live in a way that we are stepping forward in balance and happy. When we are in balance and happy, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing here. No matter what job you do, no matter what you do, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing here. So live your life, but live it in a way where you are happy and balanced. And you can say, how can I do that with all this stuff that's happening outside of me, with all these, the way I'm being treated by my ex or my partner or my whoever, my boss? You will be less affected by external influences when you get yourself into a happier place. And to get to that happier place, we have to go through growing pains. It's just discomfort and painful. But we need to look at our shadow selves, clear out what no longer serves us. And it doesn't mean push it down or distract ourselves. It means actually allow yourself to feel the associated emotions to anything that comes to mind. Feel the associated emotions. And it's through that allowing ourselves to feel that we actually get to heal, and then we lighten up, and that creates space within us for that higher frequency. So I just wanted to send this message out there to help people to maintain their strength and faith, and to promote people to do their self-care and become more and more self-empowered. You can do this, we're all doing it, and you can do it too. So take care, and my next video may be a reading.